What is up, guys? In today's video I'm going to be going over several quick tips that you'll want to know in Fortnite's new K-pop Demon Hunters update. As always, if you guys do find this video to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, comment down below which tip you found to be most helpful, and if you guys would like to use my code in the shop when getting anything, it is EvolveJake, just like my channel name is, and it is underneath the webcam at all times. So this K-pop Demon Hunters update added 4 new items, and you can get these just from regular looting, from floor loot, chests, whatever, but you can get them from the supply drones as well. The supply drones that are in the gold POIs have a very good chance of actually giving you the K-pop Demon Hunter items, and then the same is going to be true of the flags that you can capture around the map. These flags will capture incredibly fast if you emote, give you a few blue items, and your chances of getting one of the new items is quite high when capturing the flag. This isn't like a very high spawn chance, but you actually can get them from the upgraded ammo crates as well. I've gotten both the mask and the shield bubble from the upgraded ammo crates. So as I said, it's not the greatest spawn chance of getting it that way, but those upgraded ammo crates can, give you mobility, which is actually kind of crazy. The gold bubble shield is one of the new items, and this at the surface looks like just a regular shield bubble. And so it's a nice item, but not really that exciting of an item. But this will actually heal you as well. If you're inside when it first deploys, you will get 20 shield. And then while you're inside, you will continue to get 5 shield for every second that you're inside. And so this isn't the fastest healing item. It's actually quite slow when compared to some of the other items. But I still think it's really good. And it's actually something that's viable to carry as your heal slot, because you can get up to 100 shield from one bubble easily. And while healing quickly in a fight is something that's important and something that's very useful, the fact that this doubles as a healing item and gives you a shield bubble can help you turn some of those fights. So like the healing might not be as fast, but the added utility you get out of the bubble might result in you taking less damage, or being able to play the fight in such a way where you take less damage because you can bubble fight. So I think a lot of players kind of look at the healing on this not being the fastest and kind of write it off. But if you're good at playing bubble fights, this might be the best healing item in the game for you. And in team game modes especially, this is going to be something that's really worth having somebody on your team carry, because you can heal everybody all at once, which is great. But the healing you get from this bubble will actually stack with your other heals as well. So the bubble doesn't heal quick, but if you're in a bubble while drinking a big pot, or in a bubble while somebody on your team is fizzing everybody, your squad can actually heal up very, very fast from this. And you can actually heal downed teammates with it as well. So if you have a teammate that's knocked and you go to revive them, throwing the bubble on them is like a pretty natural play that makes a lot of sense to kind of protect you while you're reviving them. But they will actually continue to get the shield from this bubble while in their knocked state. So you revive them with shield up already. And that's actually, again, something that's really helpful in a way that benefits you with something that you were already going to do anyways. Like bubbling a teammate to revive them makes a lot of sense, but healing them as you're reviving them, that way they're a bit healthier and ready to fight right away, is also something that's really useful. The ramen is a healing item that was added in this update, and one of the effects that it has is it makes you move faster, and pretty much everybody knows this, but what a lot of people don't know is that it actually increases your stamina as well. Without the ramen effect, I was able to sprint for about 7.5 seconds before running out of stamina. And with the ramen effect active, I was able to sprint for about 15.5 seconds. So it basically like doubles your stamina and makes you move faster. So you're going to get around much quicker and get much more out of a single sprint bar. And when you use this, I'm pretty sure it like fills your stamina right away. So if you need to heal in the middle of a fight, plus get your stamina back, plus get improved stamina, there's several benefits that actually kind of add up. And if you're using the ramen with the new sword that you can sprint with, the sword gives you improved sprint and improved stamina while sprinting. But if you have the ramen active with this at the same time, not only are you going to move even faster, but you actually have unlimited stamina if you are sprinting with the sword equipped while under the effect of the ramen. So the ramen is a solid healing item on its own. It's kind of comparable to big pots, but it also heals white health as well. And it gives you the stamina increase and movement speed increase. So I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy the ramen. The sword is probably the most underwhelming of these K-pop Demon Hunters items, but it actually was already buffed. The spawn rate was increased in floor loot chests and the gold supply drones, and now the projectile that is sent from the swipe effect will actually travel faster and grow faster. So I'm not really sure what the growing mean. I guess it gets larger over time. But the sword was buffed a little bit. It wasn't really buffed as a movement item, which I know is disappointing for a lot of people. But the spawn rate increase is definitely going to be nice, because I barely saw this thing the first 2 days. The new teleportation mask, I think, is the most interesting of the items added. And with this, you know, you throw the ball and then you teleport to it. But there's a lot of mind games you can play with this, where you can throw your ball and then not teleport to it right away to kind of bait enemies sometimes or confuse them. A lot of people kind of just throw it and then immediately teleport, which works. But there might be times where you can throw it, bait an enemy to focusing on that, and then get, you know, damage on them because they're too worried about the ball. And at the very least, even if they don't hard focus on it, you kind of split their attention in that regard. And one thing I really like doing with it is in kind of those like stalemate-y mid-range fights where you're playing cover and your opponent's playing cover and nothing's really happened yet, I like to kind of throw the ball ahead of time to where I would want to be until when I get tags on them. So like if we're just chilling and nothing's really happening and, you know, I'm kind of waiting for them to peek and they're kind of waiting for me to peek, I can throw that ball ahead of time and have it ready to go. That way I'm able to immediately pressure the moment I do damage to that enemy, right? I don't have to like do the damage and then throw it. It's just a little bit slower that way. And another thing that I like to do is, as I said, throw it to where I would want to be after getting tags on the enemy. So if you know the cover someone's playing, you kind of know how they're going to react to getting shot by you, right? Like how they're going to back up. If you throw the teleporter ball like to the side of them or behind them where you might have an angle on them when they go to, you know, use their cover, you can get good timing on them and potentially just win the fight. And a lot of times this, if you were doing this at neutral HP, it would kind of be a bad mistake. But if you've already done damage to the person and kind of, you know, made the fight stressful for them, teleporting to that off angle, even if you don't have much cover yourself, might be all you need to, you know, get even more tags and potentially win the fight. So there's a lot of things you can do with this ball. You can also use this ball in combination with other mobility. So like you shockwave up and then throw the ball while you're in air. Not only are you going to get further that way, but also you can have a very drastic change in direction. If you're shockwaving one way and then throw the ball another and then teleport to it, that can throw a lot of people off. And if you're doing this while pushing enemies, it can also be really helpful, because they might be looking at you while you're in the air and then you just teleport to behind them because that's where you threw your ball. And that timing is so crucial in a lot of those close range fights, or a lot of those fights where you're trying to pressure damage on an enemy. So there's so many different ways you can use this. Another thing some people like to do is place their ball somewhere safe if they're going to go into like a hot area to get loot, or maybe to get reboot cards. Even if you know that like there's potentially a team camping your teammates' reboot cards, throw your ball beforehand, go get the card, and then TP to your ball the moment the fight breaks out. And this could also be used when going for a reboot on your teammates. So maybe throw the ball somewhere safe. That way, if you get attacked while going for the reboot, you don't have to throw it or worry about throwing it then. You just quickly teleport out of there. And the enemies likely might not even know where you teleported to, because they might not know where your ball is. You can also teleport while carrying knocked teammates. This worked with the Void Mask in the past, and it works exactly the same way with this one. So if you have the ball thrown, pick up a teammate, carry them, you can teleport to safety. And that's something that, again, can make it a lot easier to revive your teammate, because you put the ball in a spot where you have cover or you have safety, and you're hopefully going to be able to revive them. With the Void Mask in Chapter 6, Season 1, there was a bug where you could take fall damage when teleporting if you were about to take fall damage before you teleported. It was kind of weird, but like basically if you jumped before you teleported, you ran the risk of taking fall. It doesn't seem like that is the case with this one. I tried to make that happen, and I did it basically for an entire mask's durability, and not once did I take fall damage. So I'm guessing that bug is fixed, but it's hard to say with bugs like this, because like if it's just a chance for something to happen, maybe I happen to get lucky, you know. But I expect that bug to be fixed. The OXR ranks were removed from this season with the update, but the bunkers will still open at second zone, and it works similar to how it did previously, where two of the bunkers will, like, a random 2 bunkers will be decided at the start of the match to be the ones that are going to open, and you can actually tell which ones are going to open or not by whether or not they have chains on them. So the ones that aren't going to open will have chains on them, and then the ones that will open won't have chains on them. They won't have all the like supplies in front of it. This is similar to how the bunkers were in Chapter 5 as well, that you would go in to customize your weapons. It was you could look at it and tell which ones were going to open when the time came for them to open. And they now do open in second zone, and they have mythic weapons inside. You can get the mythic Wrecker Revolver, the mythic Sweeper Shotgun, and then you're supposed to be able to get the mythic OXR this way as well, but the OXR is bugged and currently gives the Wrecker Revolver, but it's just random which bunkers will open game to game and which mythics will be inside. They kind of just switch game to game. It's random. And then also the OXR shops are still on the map, and you can go here and purchase loot. They still sell shockwaves, which is really good if you need mobility in a pinch. And the vending machines that are around the map still sell the boons and the other weapons and stuff. And the OXR ranked boons were removed, so you can't get those anymore because they came from the drop pods. But the boons that you can normally get from looting, like agile aiming and extended mag, you can buy those from the vending machine still if that is something that you really want. But that is going to be it for this video. As always, if you guys did find this to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.